So we will look into the various operations that are possible on a list. Before we proceed, let me remind you, a list is a data structure which is going to store the elements in an ordered manner and which can be of any data type, including strings, integers, floats, and other list. So indexing is maintained for list. I mean, each of the element is going to be accessed with the help of an index, and we can keep heterogeneous elements into the list. Now, these are some commonly used operations or functions, that is len, count, index, append, insert, extend, remove, pop, reverse, and sort. So most of these functions, they go by their name. So we will start with one by one. Let's start with the first function, that is your len function. So as the name indicates, len function is used to calculate how many number of elements are present in the list. So basically, length of a list can be calculated by taking the help of len function. Let us see, here we have taken one list holding some elements like 10, 1, 30, 40.7. Because we know list can carry heterogeneous elements, so we have kept some 4 elements here. Now, when I'm applying this len function on this list, that is n, we are getting 4 because there are 4 elements present in this particular list. Now, the second function is your count function. So, count function we can take in order to find out the occurrence of a particular item in the list. So, if you want to verify particular item, how many times it appears or available inside a list, we can take the help of this count function. Now, how can we use it? Let's say we have taken one list and carrying set of elements. Okay, we have taken here numeric values. You can take any set of elements because it is heterogeneous, right? Now, I'm going to call this count and I'm going to specify the element, that is 1. So the meaning of this line is I'm counting how many times 1 is present in the given list, that is n. So in this list we can observe 1 is available twice or appearing twice, hence the output is 2. Similarly, when I'm trying to find out how many times 2 is occurring, so we can see this is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So hence the 2 is existing in this element or appearing in this list 4 times. Now, index function is going to find out the index of the first occurrence of the specified item. So with index, I can pass on a particular item and it is going to give me the first occurrence. Now, if at all the item is available only once in the entire list, so that is going to be written. If in case the element or the item is occurring multiple times in the list, because list is allowing duplicate values. So where there is a duplicate items, then it is going to give us the first occurrence of the specific item. Now let's see here. We have taken a list that is n holding set of elements. Now when I'm trying to find out index of 1. So as you can see in this entire list, 1 is appearing here, whose index is 0. Now if I check the index of 2, 2 is occurring multiple times here. Almost 4 times it is available. But when I'm applying index on this 2, so the item 2's first occurrence is here, whose index position is 1. Now similarly, when I'm finding index of 3 here, again 3 is also occurring twice. So its first occurrence is somewhere here, whose index is nothing but 5. Now, if we try to apply the index function on an element which is not available in the list, then we are going to get an exception that is called value error. Okay. So, if at all the specified element is not present in the given list, we are going to get a value error always. Now, the next function is your append function. As the name itself predict that this is going to add or attach the items at the end of the list. Now, assuming we have taken a list which is an empty list for the time being. We do not have any items here. Now when I'm going to use this append followed by the item which I want to append. So after this, my list is updated with one item, that is your A. Now when I proceed with the second operation where I'm trying to append B to the existing list, already by this append we already have a list which is carrying A now. Now with this append B, B will be added as the last element at the end of the list. So now my new updated list is going to carry two elements. One is A, first element is A, and the second element is your B. Now going ahead with list.append of C. So once again we are applying append, and what we are attaching now? We are attaching C. So C is now going to be the last element here. So as a result of which we have got three elements available in the list. So when I'm printing the list, I'll be getting A followed by B and C. So append function always going to add the item at the end of the existing list. So now coming to the insert function, this function I can use to insert an item at a specified index position. So earlier we have seen append function was adding the item by default towards the end of the list. But if you are interested to place or add an item at a particular index position of my choice, then we can take the help of insert function. So assume this is a list available with some elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this one n.insert. So insert function takes two parameters. First one is the index position and the second one is the item. So what is the meaning of this line is we are trying to insert 55 at index position 2 in the list. So this is index 0, this is 1, so this is 2. I mean in place of 3 we are going to get this 55. So now the list updated is like you can see 55 is added at index 2. Now next when I'm trying to insert 10 versus 777. Now here you can see the number of elements are actually after inclusion of this 55 it is only 6. But here we have given an index which is beyond. I mean 10 is greater than 6. So every time you give an index which is larger than the existing number of elements, then by default this item or element will be added at the end of the list. Now coming to the next one where I'm trying to give -10, because we know the list can also be, this is the present list as of now. So I can use the negative index. So this is -1, this is -2, -3, like that I can come up to this which is nothing but say 3, 4, 5, this is -6. So if I go by using negative index, I can see from -1 to -6 we have the items. But here I'm specifying something -10. So which is again not available here. Okay, so we have up to -6. We don't have here -10 here. So as a result of this, what will happen? This element will be added at the beginning of the list. So if the index is available, it is going to insert at that index position. If the index is larger than the total number of elements, we will be adding it at the last position. And if the index is smaller than the minimum index, then the element will be inserted at the first position. Now extend function is mostly used when you want to add multiple elements to the end of a list. Now mostly what we do, suppose we have one list of items in a list and the entire items I want to add to another list. So that is where I normally make use of extend. You can see here we use one list, extend iterable. So where this iterable can be a list, maybe a tuple, maybe a string, and we can attach this iterable at the end of this existing list. For example, you can see here we have taken one list holding 3 elements. Now I am calling extend on the same list, but this time I have taken multiple items in the form of a list. So 4, 5, 6 is nothing but multiple items which are part of some list. Now, because extend has been called, now this 4, 5, 6, all the 3 items are added at the end of the existing list. As a result, when I print the my list, I'll be getting all the 6 elements here. Now look into this example, assuming we have taken a list holding these 3 elements. Now here, instead of giving a list, I have taken a string. Now once I take a string and apply the extend, it is going to divide or split this entire string into number of characters, where H is one item, A is one item, L, L, O. All this entire string has been split into 5 items, each of the characters. So 1, 2, 3 we were already had in the existing one. When I'm trying to extend with this hello, I'll be getting 5 items included into this list, that is H, E, L, L and O. Now remove function, as the name indicates, we can use this in order to remove a specified item from the list. Now if the item is present multiple times, then only the first occurrence will be removed. Now the syntax is, you take a list upon which you are applying the remove, and here you can specify the particular item that you want to remove. Now imagine we have taken a list n holding certain elements. Now I am trying to remove 10. Because we observe 10 is appearing twice here, so the first occurrence will be removed. As a result, after the remove operation or remove function applied on this, when I print the list, I will be getting this remaining element, that is 20, 10 and 30. Now, if you remove or you're trying to remove an element or item which is not present in the list, let's say here I apply say 50. So 50 is not available in the list. So at that point of time, we'll be getting an exception saying value error, because it is unable to find out the value that is to be removed from this list. Now pop function, it is also making use of, it is going to do the same opposite kind of job what remove was doing, but in a different way. And one of the specialty of this pop function is, it is used to remove and return an element. Whichever element is removed or popped, that will be returned by this function. Now let us see what is the syntax here. Say this is a list on which we are applying the pop function, and I am going to specify an index here. So at this index, whichever element is available in the list, that element will be removed. Now, if I do not mention this index, if I do not pass any index, by default, the last element will be removed from the list. Now let's see here. Now we have taken a list holding these 5 values. Now when I'm trying to apply pop and I'm specifying an index, means 0, 1, 2. So this is the element that is removed. Because after removal, it is going to return that element. You can see by applying this pop function, and when I print it, I'm going to get the element which is removed. That is nothing but 3 here. Now, in the second case, I'm applying the pop function, but this time there is no index been mentioned. So when we do not mention any index, automatically what will happen? The last element will be removed, because initially with the help of this, we have removed this. So what are remaining? 1, 2, 4, 5. Now when I applying pop, the last element is here 5. It is now removed. As a result, when I print the updated list, I have only 1, 2 and 4 left in the list. Now reverse function, as the name once again indicates, is used to reverse the order of the elements in a list. So if at all I want to reverse the entire order of elements present in a list, we can simply call this reverse function. Now let's say we have taken this list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on which we are applying this reverse. So all the elements are now reversed and we get these elements in the reverse order. Now the last function, that is just sort function. So sort function once again is going to sort the elements of a list in a particular order. Now if you want to arrange the elements, I mean sort the elements according to default natural sorting order, then we can call upon this sort method. Now, assuming that we have a list of elements where only numeric values are there or numbers are there, then it is going to give us the ascending order of all those numeric values. Now, if your list has the strings, then the order is going to be the alphabetical order. Okay. So let's see this. Here we have taken all of them as your, numbers. So when I'm applying this sort on this list and when I'm printing, I could see that we have all these numbers which are actually in the ascending order. Now, if you are going to apply the sort on a list which is carrying the strings here. So now when I'm applying sort here, you can see the first character of each of them. They will be taking alphabetical order, means the apple will be the first element, banana will be the second element, cat will be the third, and dog will be the fourth. So when I print this S, we are going to get these 4 items. But here one constraint, like whenever you apply sort function, your complete list must be it has to be homogeneous element. I mean it has to be all numbers or it could be all strings, because we know list is allowing us to store heterogeneous elements. That's okay. But the time when you apply sort function, you have to ensure that it contains only homogeneous element. If you take a combination of alphabets, strings, numbers together, then when you apply sort function, you will be getting an exception, that is your type error. So the sort function can also be used to put the elements in a descending order or the reverse order. So for this, what we do, we will take an additional parameter that is called reverse and we set it to true. In fact, when you use sort function, this reverse attribute is by default set to false. So as a result, what happens? We have seen in the previous slides that we are getting the natural ascending order of the list. Now, let us see, we have taken say n equal to 40, 10, 30, 20. So when I'm applying only sort, we have seen it already. So we are getting the natural ascending order like 10, 20, 30, 40. Now, if I write n dot sort and here I will apply reverse equal to true, which means I'm trying to sort the elements of this list n, but in which order? In descending order. So as a result of which, what will happen? I'll be getting the elements in a descending order. Now, if I'm writing reverse equal to false, so this line is pretty similar to what we have written here. Means by default, this reverse attribute of the sort function is set to false. So you will get the same answer what you have got earlier by writing only the sort. Now also you're getting the same. So this is an optional or default value of reverse. So by default, as we know, sort function is going to give us the ascending order of the elements. But in case you want the descending order, you have to make use of this reverse attribute, and that also need to be set to true.